Below the Line with George Peroulas. Tonight's guests are...
Welcome to another edition of Below the Line. I'm George Peroulas. This show is designed to entertain and educate you about the entertainment industry right here in this area. Below the Line is a film and television production term. It includes the actors, the grips, the gaffers, hair and makeup artists, casting directors, and the many others who work during a production. We'll talk to them throughout this show and learn how they got started and how their departments work. We'll also speak with producers and directors who work above the line and get an inside look into their world. So let's get started. My first guest works on films, commercials, television, industrials, and you name it. He's the production assistant, always on the go. Please welcome Tyler Garnett. How are you? Welcome, Tyler. Thank you so much for coming. You're so busy. We're so grateful to have you here. You are the PA extraordinaire in this area, and we are so glad that you have time for us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
You began in the business out of graduate school. You were working in Florida. You were directing and producing alternative sports videos.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, you have your normal sports like football, soccer, baseball, and then you have what's called alternative sports, which is skiing, snowboarding, surfing, skateboarding, videos like that.
Was it grueling just as the people you're filming as well?
No, it was really cool because what they did is things that we were interested in. So you were out there and you were filming things that you actually cared about. So like you'd be on the beach and you'd be, enjoying the weather and enjoying, all the elements, and people would be surfing and you'd be in the water and filming that. And so it's a really great way to make videos and do something cool, as opposed to a lot of the hurry up and wait that goes with the business.
And tell me about filming in the water. It's got to be tricky.
It is difficult to film in the water. What I found out was when you're holding the camera and the waves are kind of going in there, you have to kind of try to counteract to the waves. And I swallowed a lot of water that day, let's just say.
A lot of salt water?
Yeah.
How did you get involved in production work and production assistant work?
When I first moved into town, I got a hold of the coordinators that lived in town. That's a good way to get a start. You want to call the coordinators because what happens is a company comes in from out of town, let's say a larger production company, and they'll hire a coordinator, and that coordinator will hire the crew. And then if you're good with the coordinators, then you'll get the calls for work. And so I sent out my resume and a letter to all the coordinators in town, said, hey, I'm here, I'd like a chance to work with you guys. And then from working with them over and over, you get familiar, and then they just start calling you.
So it's networking?
Very much so. A lot of networking, yeah.
Is it tough to try to meet and greet these people, to try to get yourself known?
It's tough to first break in because they don't really know you from anyone else. And so you have to, when you're on set, the first couple of times, you're like trying to just kill yourself to work as hard as you can to be like, this guy's a good worker, this guy knows what he's to do. You're like the first to volunteer to do the jobs you don't necessarily like, and then eventually when you get a good reputation, you can relax a little bit, let your personality show a little bit more, and just really enjoy the job.
Now there are different duties for a set production assistant depending on the project. Let's go through them one by one. A production assistant on a commercial.
So to be a PA on a commercial, you're a lot more involved in every single department. So you're the first one to show up, the last one to leave. Obviously you're still working with talent, with the AD staff, but you're focused a little bit more on helping out with what other people need, helping out with the grip and electric, helping out with craft service, making runs, making photocopies, anything that needs to be done. It's basically falls into your category. There's nothing that I haven't heard of or done before as a PA on a commercial, but on a movie it's a little bit different.
There are a lot of differences in the production work between film and TV, of course. Film, there are more departments and more people working. So tell me the difference between commercials and film. As a PA on film, you have more or less responsibilities. How does that work?
I would say you probably have a little bit more responsibilities because your responsibilities matter a little bit more. On a film, you work real tight with the AD staff, and along with the assistant directing staff, you have your hands in basically in the budget, because you're trying to make sure things are still happening at the right pace, that you're staying within the budget, and so you're working a lot more with paperwork, with the actors, helping the crew out, but you're more informing them about stuff that's going on and directing them than to actually do a lot of the work yourself.
Okay. And production assistant work on a television project.
Okay, so on a TV show, that's a little bit crazy, because now you're doing absolutely anything, because they've kind of thrown a lot of the things out the window, because it's a lot of times it's a skeleton crew. So let's say you have 6 or 8 guys. You might grab the camera, do some filming, jump in the car, go get something, come back. I mean, it's just anything goes, and so it's a lot looser on a TV show. That's a smaller one. Now, if you work on like One Tree Hill or something like that, now you're back into the film world again. And so like larger TV and film are very much the same. Commercials over here, and then you've got your smaller TV and industrials, which is, I mean, I just wouldn't be surprised to be asked to do anything on a project that size.
Is there a difference in PA work if the project is union or non-union?
There's a lot of rules that fall into a union show, and so it's very specific. It's almost like the unions and other departments kind of curve what we do, because they don't want us to touch certain things, and they don't want you to do certain things because it falls within their union, and they have certain people to do those jobs, and if those people don't do those jobs, you know, then they're breaking certain union rules. So you just kind of like know where to step and when on a union show, where on a non-union commercial or project, it's a lot more loose, a lot more free. You don't really worry about breaking any rules there.
Okay. And explain to those who want to get in this, honest truth now, what are the work hours involved in this?
Oh, Lord. On a normal day, I will leave for set around 5:30 in the morning, call time for 6 or however far you are from set. And so you'll work from 6 in the morning till 11 at night. I mean, it's not unheard of. Well, basically a 12 would be a short day, 15 to 16 would be normal, and you wouldn't blink your eyes at a 20-hour day. So that's on your feet, working.
And that's a lot of days of doing that too.
It is. You have to like change shoes at lunch, because you're just standing around a lot, and not just standing around doing nothing, but just it's not really cool to sit on set, and so you're just standing a lot. Yeah.
Makes my job seem easy, right, folks? Well, we'll come back with Tyler right after this.
George will be right back. Stay tuned.